Mr. Lee.
Hello everyone, Mario's here. In today's video I want to talk to you a little bit about one of my favorite games of all time, Half-Life Alyx. So there's one game on PC that I've played almost as much as Cyberpunk 2077, and that is Half-Life Alyx. But the difference between Half-Life Alyx and Cyberpunk 2077 is that Half-Life Alyx, the campaign there is only like 10 to 15 hours long, depending on how you play through it, of course. While on the other hand, Cyberpunk 2077 is a full-fledged RPG with a story that takes around 30 to 40 hours to complete, alongside a ton of side missions and side of activities to do. So it's not really fair to compare them in that sense. So I played through the main story of Half-Life Alyx probably 10 times at least, and I've played a lot of the mods made by the community, but most of the playtime is actually playing through the game again and again and again and again, and I've actually gotten every single trophy in that game. Do you call it trophies on PC? I have to check here. I'm unsure. Let's see. Half-Life Alyx. You call it achievements, that is, yeah. But I have every single achievement in Half-Life Alyx. It's the only game that I have 100% on PC, that is. And one of the few games I have 100%ed in my entire life. Like, I think it's only, I don't know, like 3 games I've ever played that much that I've done 100% of the achievements, and I enjoyed it. It never felt like a chore at any point doing all of this. So what I want to talk about today is what made it special. Why Half-Life Alyx? Like before I got my gaming rig, I was not all about Half-Life Alyx. I was gonna get Boneworks, right? And Boneworks in comparison is a very good game, but that game I've played 20 hours, while Half-Life Alyx I have played 129.8 hours, and I've gotten 100% of the achievements in the game. So that is kind of not the same. Yeah, not as much. So what is it? What's the deal with Half-Life Alyx? I think talking about Boneworks is kind of relevant in this, because I love Boneworks, really love Boneworks, and it's the freedom you feel like when you're playing Boneworks that is so appealing. And Half-Life Alyx has some of it, but it's much more narrow in scope in other aspects. But what it does really, really well. And especially when it comes to immersion. Because like in Half-Life Alyx, the immersion factor is like 1000%. The zombies look extremely good. Everything looks really, really good in that game. Like the graphics are insane. Totally beyond breathtaking. Like insane graphics, man, and never before in any game have I been in shootouts and actually physically hidden behind like a brick wall and like peeked out and fired shots and gone back and hiding again before Half-Life Alyx. That is the first game where I've ever done anything like that, and it was mind-blowing, and it is still mind-blowing to me today. It's kind of like the game you've always fantasized about playing, right? Like since I was a little kid watching the movie The Matrix, I was kind of like, one day gaming is gonna be like that, where you enter a different world, right? We're not like that, we're not like there with Half-Life Alyx, but it kind of felt a little bit like that, kind of like a small Matrix in a sense, where you're in this world. The graphics are breathtaking, the characters are extremely well done, all of them. Like the soldiers are really cool, the zombies are cool, like the music is good, like everything is immersion factor 1000. And there you are, hiding behind a barrel, physically, with your whole body, peeking over and shooting, right? That's what made it special. That is what made Half-Life Alyx so special. But it's not the only VR game that has done it. What I think is different about Half-Life Alyx is, like I said, the quality. It's the only game where you feel like a AAA company has put big money into making it. You know, it's the only like critically acclaimed AAA VR game. That is the only way to explain it. It's like flat screen. They get these games almost yearly at worst, right? But most often they get several huge games like that every year. And you have like games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War and I don't know, The Last of Us and whatnot, and they're like one after the other released, right? VR doesn't have that. Only thing in that kind of scope that VR has currently, which is critically acclaimed, and can stand like toe-to-toe with those giants in the flat screen market. That is Half-Life Alyx. That is the only game that's like that. But does that make it any less awesome in any way? Do I like get depressed thinking that, oh, that is the only game that has that wow factor? Not at all. Like, it's just amazing. I do wish, however, that more games like Half-Life Alyx start coming out. But I do think Valve did something truly extraordinary with Half-Life Alyx. I never really cared that much about the first Half-Life or the second one. When the first Half-Life came out, I was like a little kid. That was back in '98, I think, and how old was I then? Like 9 years old, so I wasn't old enough to play it. But I do remember that game made a huge impact on the gaming scene. I remember my oldest brother played it on his PC, and we talked about it at school, and there was Counter-Strike and all of that stuff. It was huge, right? And I enjoyed the first Half-Life, really enjoyed the second Half-Life, but the Half-Life game that really meant something to me is Half-Life Alyx. No doubt about it, man. And I don't really think that there is ever going to be another Half-Life game that will make that sort of an impression on me. Let's never say never, but I kind of doubt it, man. I feel like they've set the bar so high with that game. There's such an attention to detail with it. Like you have every detail there. You can see fingerprints on your gun. You can see the dirt under your nails. You can pick things up and you can study them, and every single thing looks like it has such level of detail to it, and it doesn't lag for a second throughout the whole campaign. And I played it on my 5700 XT graphics card. I've never tried it on my new 37 Ti because I don't see the point. Like, it ran perfectly on that GPU, so this is just overkill. And how they did that, right? How the hell did they manage to do that when games are released today? Like, I'm a big Cyberpunk 2077 gamer, but I would be stupid not to see how, in what bad state that game was in when it came out. Like, it was insane, right? It lagged like crazy and crashed after 5 seconds, right? And there Valve comes along with a VR game, and it doesn't lag a single second throughout the whole thing, and it works on all PCs just as well. Like, every person I've seen that played that game had a good experience with it. If it was on an AMD card, if it was on a Nvidia card, if it didn't even matter, right? As long as you didn't play it on a low-end laptop, you were going to have a good experience. I'm kind of exaggerating here, but how well they made that, it's insane. I'm not exaggerating when I say it, it's just insane. No other VR experience to date comes to that level. However, now we have like more realized VR games that are like proper games with a story and everything. There are more of them now than there were when Half-Life Alyx was released. However, none of these games live up to the standard set by Half-Life Alyx. And it's such a community surrounding the game as well. Like, you have so many great mods made for that game. Like, not only mods, but like great mods. The BioShock mod, insane, right? Really good. A lot of the other mods are like extremely good. They would be proper DLC in another game. The Hitman mod, right? No, not Hitman. What's it called? Gunman or something. Like, the mods for this thing is really well made. A lot of them. GoldenEye. I've played those mods a ton. Yeah, Gunman. That was what it was called. But there's an insane amount of stuff here. Right? Like, crazy. And yeah, like, even after playing this for so many hours, still want to jump into it, still want to dive back in, and still want to do the same things, just like cock my gun. Right? That's insane. Grab a head crab while it's jumping towards you, grab it and shoot it, or throw it over a ledge or something. Want to do the same things over and over again. That's what's so fascinating about that game. Yeah, just break a window in that game. It feels so immersive because the level of quality is just insanely high. So I think that's why also flat screen to VR gaming has become such a big thing, because people want to go, a lot of people, at least me, want to come back to that Half-Life Alyx wow moment, right? A lot of us, we just want another AAA game in the VR headset. Just something else that has like the Half-Life Alyx level of quality. Yeah. So I don't know what you think. Did you like Half-Life Alyx? Is it one of your favorite games? Do you think it's... do you think Half-Life Alyx is overrated? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. If you like today's video, click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, I'll catch you on the next one, folks. See ya.